Hi. The Science and Technology constituency of the Asia-Pacific Regional CSO Engagement Mechanism, or APRSEM, and the Women's Major Group, thank you for this opportunity to hear our voice amid a shrinking space for meaningful CSO engagement. We agree that science, technology, and innovation, or STI, is a vital component to sustainable development and welcome the push for strengthening the STI capabilities and capacities of countries under the 2030 Development Agenda. However, we should also recognize that STI can deepen social and economic inequalities and be used as an instrument of social and political control. It can be used to restrict freedoms, discriminate against the poor, small farmers, workers, women and girls, migrants, indigenous peoples, Dalits, the disabled, the elderly, and other marginalized communities, and at the same time cause adverse health, environmental, socioeconomic, and cultural impacts, and deprive future generations of a livable world. In a world where STI has largely become commodified, corporatized, proprietary, and placed outside the reach of majority of the population, most especially the poor, we would like to reiterate that people should have a central role in STI. Science and technology are too important to be left in the hands of scientists, academicians, technocrats, and private enterprises alone. Instead of being mere users and buyers of the products of STI, people should have a direct say on its direction, use, and priorities. Regional trade agreements, like the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, perpetuate and legitimize the commodification of what should be common tools and resources by profit-oriented corporate interests. It creates costly and unnecessary barriers to access to life-saving drugs, precious seeds for farmers, cheap technology, and other socially beneficial products of STI. Such agreements also give technologically advanced countries privileges over countries whose industries and technologies are still developing, and thus hinder the nationally determined development of local S&T and industry. Agenda 2030 puts emphasis on the development and use of data in service of the SDGs. Data is not only a resource, but a vital reality structuring people's lives, choices, and opportunities today. Vast amounts of data are now being held by big businesses, unwilling to share the same to public agencies for public interest purposes. The socialization of all data from people's digital social interactions and its use in public interest is a precondition for reaching the SDGs. Such data should by default be publicly owned with transparent collection methodologies and well-defined regulatory frameworks for collecting private firms. There should be in place ethical standards in the collation and dissemination of data that adhere to gender equality and women's rights, sexual and reproductive health and rights, communication rights, rights to privacy, and equal access to knowledge. In the spirit of leaving no one behind, we enjoin you to adapt and implement an STI for sustainable development that is just, equitable, accessible, participatory, accountable to the people, and centered around meeting the basic needs of all, especially the marginalized. Thank you very much.